Oh, I think we might be live. Okay, so this is weird because I think this is the second time that I do one, and I do hope that I am live. Hi, if you don't know who I am, my name is Nancy, and I have a channel that focuses more on skincare and makeup for mature women. And today I am going to take you on a journey, just my morning routine. I have a lot of steps in both my morning and evening routines, and so I just wanted to show you some of the products that I use, and just for your reference, I have dry, obviously mature skin. I'm 59. I just turned 59, and my main concerns, believe it or not, are really not wrinkles, fine lines and wrinkles, although it should be at my age. My main concerns are this hyperpigmentation that just has gotten worse as I hit menopause, which I think I've had for the last 10 years. I mean, I don't know if menopause ever goes away. I mean, if any of you out there have experienced this where it just seems like to never end, please let me know, because I still do get like the not the night sweats so much, but the hot flashes, especially like if I'm in, you know, in situations where I have anxiety or whatever. But I am rambling on. This is not what you clicked on this video. If you did, thank you and welcome. So I have my products in front of me, and I'm just going to walk you through what a typical morning routine would look like for me. Today, actually, I did, before I did microcurrent, and I did a neck device. So that's a treatment, and I've talked about them before. It stimulates collagen production and elastin, and it's supposed to help, you know, get your skin plump and firm. Just so you know, I've never had Botox. I've never done anything on my face aside from my nose, which was like 20 years ago. But that's not anti-aging. That's just you know, it's besides the point. But I just wanted to let you know that I haven't had any work done. I'm not against having the work done. I just, you know, don't have the money, number one. And number two, I've been lucky enough that, like my forehead, for example, I don't really have any lines. I'm just lucky that way. Aside, I mean, on top of the fact that I take really good care of my skin. Now I do. Not in my 20s or my 30s. I was always very bad about it and didn't use sunscreen. But, you know, with awareness, you know, when I was a teenager in the 70s, nobody used sunscreen. We would all put, you know, baby oil and lay down on the beach, and that was normal. That's what we did. And so a lot of this damage that I see, I'm pretty sure has something to do with that. It just took a while to kind of shine through. All right, so I'm going to stop rambling. And then, but actually, before I start, have you done the testimonial for me? As some of you may know, I signed up, I applied to the Sephora Squad team, and applications are officially closed. So now they're going to start looking and reviewing the applications and the testimonials that people are submitting. So if you haven't, please take a minute of your day and click on the link below. I'll put it below in the description box. So you click on the link, and it's going to take you to that page where you can just write a couple of things, a couple of sentences. It can be really short. They only give you 300 characters. So it can be really like 2 sentences. Anything that you want to say about me, you know, why you watch my videos, are you inspired? Do you learn anything from it? Anything like that. Anything that's related to like the what is the word? The content that I put out, and, you know, how it's beneficial or not beneficial for you. But actually, if you have something negative to say, do not say it on the testimonial. Just write me a comment down below. I want to hear it anyway. All right, I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to get started. So I wash my face, right? Pat it dry. The first thing I do is I go in with toner. And this is one from Laneige. And I like this one because it's a toner and a moisturizer at the same time. I typically just pour it in my hands directly, and then I pat it in. Some people prefer putting it on a cotton round. You can do that also, but I feel like it's wasteful, not just for the product, but also, you know, creating more garbage. And also, I don't know, I don't like the feel of the cotton on my skin. Like that scratchiness, it just gives me the, ugh. I don't know why. I've never liked that. So once I'm done with the toner, and because I have very dry skin, which by the way has gotten more dry, not just because of aging, but it's gotten drier because I started using retinol, which I didn't use up until like maybe 3 years ago. So I've noticed a big difference in my skin and how severely dry it is now. And like I said, it's not just having to do with the menopause. Then I go in with some type of essence, so some hydration, some hyaluronic acid. It can be the hyaluronic acid from The Ordinary or from Inkey List, any of that. As long as you apply it when your skin is still damp, like a little bit, see, tacky, that's when you want to go in with hyaluronic acid. Make sure that you don't apply it on dry skin because it can have the opposite effect. This one here from Pharmacy is an essence, and this is my second bottle. I am completely obsessed with this thing. I can't stop using it. And even though using this, because it's a toner and a moisturizer, using this would have been enough. But I still wanted to show you. For most people, if you have like just skin that's a little bit dry or normal, using this alone, you're good to go. Because even right now, as you can see the glow, my skin is hydrated. It feels tacky, and it's because it's a toner moisturizer. But I wanted to show you this product because I'm just so obsessed with it, and I love it so much. It's milky. It's a little bit thicker. I don't know if you can see it. See? It's a little bit thicker than the one from Laneige, and this is strictly just an essence. This is not a toner. And I apply it the same way. I even bring it to the eyes because my eyes my eyes are super dry as well under here. I don't experience like an oily lid like some people do. I mean, I don't think I'm oily anywhere, period. In the summer, I do get a little bit shiny, but just like on the T-zone. Other than that, I'm pretty dry. So once I press that in, and you can see that it adds like more glow. And this is how I like to have my skin feel, especially if I'm going to be putting makeup afterwards. I always make sure that my skin is really prepped. And I always tell my clients at Sephora, your makeup can only look as good as your skin is prepped. And that's why you see makeup artists. If you've ever gotten your makeup done by a makeup artist, you will always see them prep your skin. And it's because it's super important. You can't have a foundation, especially if it's like a full coverage foundation, for example. If you put it on dry skin and then you add powder, I mean, that's a disaster. And so you end up with like a complexion that looks cakey and dry and flaky. You know, prepping the skin will prevent that from happening. It's so, so important. And so for me, I add, the more layers I can add for hydration, the better for me. So while I let that settle, I usually then go in and grab a lip mask. Sorry about the noise. This is one of my favorite ones. This is from K-Skin. This is my second one. And I always love to talk about, not that I don't know how I keep track, but on some of them I can keep track. But just to show you, like if I've purchased it, you know, more than once, that means obviously that it's a product that I enjoy and that works for me. And this was not gratis, neither was it was gratis, the first bottle, and then I fell in love with it and bought the second. But a lot of these things here are purchased by myself. Like they're not gratis. I'm not talking about them because I work for Sephora. This is not a sponsored video or anything like that. Disclaimer. And all my opinions and thoughts are strictly my own. They do not represent Sephora in any way, shape, or form, okay? Just wanted to put that out there. All right, so normally after this, I go in with a vitamin C every single morning. It's just kind of ingrained in me at this point. I do not leave my house without sunscreen, and I do not leave my house without putting vitamin C, because vitamin C is going to help me not just even out the skin tone and make it brighter. It helps fade out the dark spots very gradually, very slowly, but it helps. But it's also a good antioxidant, so it protects your skin from the environmental aggressors, and which ultimately helps protect your skin barrier, the structure of your skin, which is what we want to do, because when your skin barrier breaks down, you know, all these problems come: sensitivity, fine lines and wrinkles, and a bunch of bad things happen. So anyway, we want to protect the skin, which is why sunscreen is super important. Vitamin C is important for me for the reasons I mentioned, but because I struggle with this, this uneven skin tone, for me, it's like, it's a must. So right now, and this wasn't actually gratis, this was given to me. This one's from Drunk Elephant. This is one of their newer products, and I try not to use too much, but I have this problem, guys. I go through bottles and bottles of products. I wish I could show you. I have a bin in my closet because for some reason, I love keeping my empties in case I ever have to refer to a product. But I have a bin that's full. It's been collecting for a year and a half now. And I've been meaning to bring it to Sephora. You know how they have those things at Sephora in the front of the store where you can bring in your empty containers? Sort of like what MAC used to do. You know how MAC, if you brought in 5 empties, they would give you a free lipstick? Well, Sephora, that's not what Sephora does. They have something where you can scan the code that's on the box, and that goes towards, if you've signed up for one of the challenges that you can sign up online, which is like a way to accrue points. So that is usually part of one of those challenges. So you go in, drop your empty containers, scan the code, and then you'll earn like 100 points or something towards that challenge. I think it's different every quarter. I haven't really done it yet, but I've read a little bit about it. And so yeah, I think if I bring my whole bin, they're gonna need another box. So, and I couldn't carry it all anyway. It would be too heavy. Anyway, whatever's left, always, ladies, bring them to your hands. Your hands and your neck are as important as your face. I've always heard that said, that you can tell a woman's age by her neck or her hands. So I'm 59. These are my hands. Hi, say hi to them. And I don't know. I've always brought whatever skincare on my face, I always put on my hands, and I do not do dishes without gloves. So that may have something to do with it, but I honestly don't think my hands look like I'm almost 60. I don't know. Maybe I'm just delusional, and that's just me. My neck, on the other hand, does show my age, and so do. Oh, it's getting red. And so do my eyes. So that's where the times I really notice my actual age is when I smile like that. The lines become really visible. Whereas if I'm serious, they're not as visible. And then the neck as well. The neck is it's very difficult because, I mean, gravity, it just happened. So this is going to start coming down, and unless I don't even know what procedures would be out there for that, but I've noticed when I'm holding my eyeliner, when I'm applying the liner on my eyes, I do something with the way my muscles move, where my neck becomes like really shriveled. That's kind of harsh, but anyway, that's when I notice like the wrinkles more, and you can see them now too as well, but it really shows when I'm kind of doing that. All right. Enough of that, enough of the wrinkles. Okay, so I'm done with vitamin C. So I typically give it a couple of seconds in between each serum. And you may be asking, how many serums can you apply? In what order? How do you know what order to apply them in? And I've covered this in other videos, but I'll just quickly. I apply as many serums as I want. to be honest, the sky's the limit. I believe that you should apply them in order, first of all, in the order of like texture. So you go from the lightest, what is the word? You know what I mean? For example, this one is watery, right? Consistency, that's the word. From lightest consistency to the thickest. So that's like a no-brainer. So if I were using this today, I would have applied this first because this is like watery, whereas my vitamin C is thicker. So that's rule number one. And number two, if you have, let's say, two serums, two treatments that have the same consistency and you're not sure which one to apply first, what I do is I apply the one that addresses my biggest concern first. Okay, so for example, I have, let's say, these two. This is targeting dark spots and this is just niacinamide, for example. This is my biggest concern. My dark spots are my biggest concern. Let's say these two have the same consistency. I'll go in with the one that addresses the dark spots because that's what I want penetrating the most. And that's just kind of like a general. These examples may not be the best examples, but that's the best way I can explain it to you right now. Being live is kind of stressful because there's no editing, so or no going back, so this is weird. Okay, so where did I leave off? I left off, I did the vitamin C. Okay, so now it's had a chance to sit in. And then, as I was talking about, dark spots, this is another concern. So I'm gonna go in with this one. And this one doesn't have any active ingredients in the terms of, doesn't have any exfoliants. So there's no AHAs or BHAs. So this one is safe to use in the morning. So sometimes I use it morning and night. And this one is like a paste. It's a little bit thick. It smells horrific, okay? But I continue to use it. I've been using it for years. And this one I only apply on my face because that's the only place where I have the hyperpigmentation. Oops, I might have applied too much. So yeah, it does have a really strong smell. I've gotten used to it. Doesn't bother me anymore. And I think it does fade away as the day goes on. I mean, I've never heard anyone tell me, like, oh my God, Nancy, what's that funky smell? What's on your face? Like, I've never had that. But it takes a while getting used to. And also, like your level of commitment. Like for me, I am committed to doing everything and anything I can to address my hyperpigmentation. And I've never been to a dermatologist. This is just the leftover, so I just bring it down and then bring it to my hands. I've never been to a dermatologist for anything. And I have been wanting to maybe go in to just have this, not just looked at, but for them to prescribe me the thing that they would prescribe me, which is not available over the counter, which is the #1 treatment for hyperpigmentation. Is the word is not going to come to me because now I'm stressing about remembering the word. What is the word? Oh my gosh. Anyway, I've been thinking about going. It's something that you can only use for like 3 months and then you have to stop because if you overuse it, then it causes the dark spots to get worse. And I've seen pictures online where it's like, it's scary. I keep wanting to say retinoid, but it's not retinoid. Oh my God. Hydroquinone? Yes, hydroquinone. So anyway, years ago, that used to be available over the counter, like a low dosage. And then they got rid of it. So it's no longer available like at the drugstore anymore. So you have to have a prescription. So I've wanted to see a dermatologist just for that, just to get a prescription for that, for hydroquinone. But I've also, in talking to clients at Sephora, they come in, trying to look for treatments for this type of problem. And I have talked to several of them that have gone to a dermatologist and have gotten laser. And they tell me that it's gotten worse. And they said they started, like, they went in for like treatment for like one little area, and then I see them, and when they remove the makeup, I'm like shocked to see what's underneath. It's like complete like gray, like huge patches. So just be, I mean, it may not happen with every client, but I've heard, like, for so far, one lady at my salon, it happened to her, and then two other clients at Sephora, same thing happened to her. They went in for treatment, got laser, made it worse. So just do your research and be sure that, you know, you go to a reputable dermatologist, that, you know, maybe even ask for before and afters, like all the research that you can do beforehand, because once it gets to that level, I think the level that I've seen, I don't think it's very much reversible. I mean, it's just, I was so upset when the last client, because she said, yeah, mine were even, she said to me, mine were smaller than yours. And I said, oh, and meantime, she's like, horrible. And I said to her, like, that's not okay. Like, that's not okay. What are you doing about that? I don't know. I feel like I'm the kind of person that I'm always willing to, like, be the, I like to defend people who don't have the voice or don't want to have the voice to defend themselves. Like, I'm always looking out for, I don't know. I'm just one of those people. Or maybe I'm just nosy and I really just need to mind my own business. But I was angry for her. I was angry for her and for my girl at the salon, because she is struggling so hard to get her skin back to a semi-normal. I know that the next thing is she's doing plasma, and that seems to be the only thing that helps kind of reverse that a little bit. And I have heard from also some clients, plasma is like, I don't know what it is, but it's something to do with your blood, and then they inject it into your skin. But it sounds like really not invasive, but I mean, I don't know, definitely sounds expensive. But I think it's reserved for those cases that are like really severe. But see, I've gone on a rant about hyperpigmentation. That's how much this thing drives me crazy. But anyway, so we left off here. This is a little thicker, so it's had enough time to absorb. And I actually meant to do this one first. This one from Dr. Idris. I meant to do this one first, but it's fine because they're the same kind of consistency. This dermatologist has a YouTube channel, and her brand is actually being sold at Sephora now as of like 2 months ago. So I got this in gratis, and I was so excited when I got it, and I've been using it for maybe 3 weeks. Products don't last me very long, so maybe it lasted me 3 weeks, and this is the second tube. Oh no, oh, some came out. This is like gold. I've noticed a difference in using this one, guys. And you may be thinking, well, Nancy, you already put something on for dark spots. I wanted to show you this one, and I wanted to use it because this is the one I've been seeing more results as of late. And I wanted to mention it, which is why I'm putting both. Not that there's anything wrong with putting two, because these don't have ingredients that are going to interact in any kind of way. The only thing that they may have that they both have is the tranexamic acid, which is one of the top ingredients used to treat hyperpigmentation. But yes, this one, I'm seeing results. I'm loving it, but it's a lot more expensive than this one. So this, I love that I got it for gratis, but I don't think I can sustain it, like buying it monthly. Whereas this one is affordable enough that I can sustain it because, you know, my dark spots aren't going anywhere. So I need to always find a product that I can commit to and that I can use on an ongoing basis, you know. So I have found that to be my solution, the one from Faded. And what I do is, that one doesn't have alpha-arbutin, which is also a top ingredient when you're addressing hyperpigmentation. That one doesn't have it. It's one of the products that's missing, but it has all these other good ones, all meant to treat hyperpigmentation, which is why I've been using it for years. but it doesn't have, like I said, alpha-arbutin. So what I do is I buy alpha-arbutin from The Ordinary, and then I just take it and I drop. And I forgot to grab it today. But I'm always using alpha-arbutin because I think, if I'm not mistaken, alpha-arbutin has something to do with controlling the amount of melanin that we produce. And all I know is that it's one of the top ones, just like all the ones here. Alpha-arbutin plus some others are up there. So I always make sure that it is part of my routine. Again, whatever's left over goes on my hands. And I think, like, you know, all these ingredients that are in these products, none of them are going to hurt my hands. If anything, I do feel like they have kept my skin it feels super silky. I always get compliments on how soft my skin is. And, you know, maybe it has something to do with that. I also have a whole, like, body routine that maybe I'll do one day. I'll post it so you guys have some idea how crazy I am. It's not just my face and neck. I love skincare everywhere, all the time, every day. All right, so we've done so far. So let's just backtrack really quick. So we've toned, right? After we wash our face, we toned, we hydrated, we vitamin C'd. That's funny. Anyway, we use vitamin C. We use 2 treatments for dark spots. Now, if I really wanted to go crazy, I could add niacinamide, which is mainly, I think niacinamide is known mostly for controlling the excess oils on the surface of the skin. So people like me with dry skin, I tend to be careful with niacinamide. But I also know that it has other benefits for the skin, not just the oil. So I just use it, you know, sparingly. I don't use it every single day. But just so you know, it's something that's also going to help in some small way when it comes to hyperpigmentation. So I could go in with that one. This one is a little bit liquidy, so I should have applied it before. You see how that one is a little bit more runny, but I just wanted to show you. Niacinamide is good for everyone. Everyone can benefit. It helps, like, if you have texture. It helps with enlarged pores, strengthen your skin barrier. Like, it has a lot of other benefits. It's not just, you know, controlling the oils. Because if, like, that's how I used to be. I used to only focus on that. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm super dry. I don't want anything to control my oils. I want oils added. So I would always kind of stay away from it. And then I figured, you know what, I just have to be smart about how I implement it on my skin routine, on my skincare routine. And that's all. So that was, we just did niacinamide. And this one happens to be from Sunday Riley. Be Nice, called Be Nice. That's cute. It's a really cute name. All right, so while that is absorbing, I move on to my eyes, because we haven't talked about the eyes or applied anything on the eyes. This one is from Youth to the People. This is like my 4th bottle maybe. So it's peptides, vitamin C, and to help brighten and depuff. And it has on the ingredients, I believe, some caffeine, which is how they can claim that it helps with the depuffing. That's weird. Because caffeine helps, what is it? Kind of like restrict the blood vessels, or some explanation similar to that. And that's how it helps with the puffiness. So I just tap it in using your ring finger, look up, and then you just go all the way out to close to the hairline. And then whatever's left, I bring it up here on the lid. And then I try to kind of push up. So this one you can apply morning and night. It feels like a serum, but it also, I don't want to say behaves, but what I'm trying to get at, it's like you can only use this one alone. You don't have to go in with another cream after this if you don't want to. I feel like for me, I've always viewed it, and I just put it too close to my lash line. Ouch. I've always viewed it as a treatment, as serum, because of the ingredients, but I think it's meant to be just, you know, regular eye cream. But on days where my under eyes are extremely dry, or if I'm going to be using a concealer that has like high coverage, then I want to make sure that my eyes are extra hydrated. And then at that point, what I'll do is go in with a second eye cream. I told you, I'm extra. I am extra. If you love skincare, you should follow me, because I can talk about skincare and skincare products all day long. So on days where my eyes are super dry, I go in with this one. This is my second one. This is from Shiseido. Beautiful, beautiful eye cream. Luxurious. Even the packaging feels luxurious. And I just wanted to, my eyes are not that dry today, but I wanted to mention it because it's okay to layer under your eyes if you want to use a serum first. Like Dr. Dennis Gross has a serum that's for wrinkles for under the eyes. And that one is definitely like a treatment because it's very like liquidy. So that one, I don't have it right now, but I've used it before and I loved it. So when you use serums, then you go after that, then you go in with a cream to help kind of help those ingredients like really kind of stay in your skin. And of course, hydrate your skin more. The under eyes are such a delicate area. I know that, though, that this used to happen to me a lot before, and not so much anymore, but I've heard that if you over moisturize, then you can tend to get those little balls, and I forget the name, but it sounds like Ilia. I know it sounds like the ILIA somewhere. So, oh, see, I do have a few down here. I don't know if you can see it, but I can feel them. They're down here. So I've heard that, yeah, if you put too much product, that those tend to form. I also have a horror story with that. I've heard of people, a cousin of mine actually, she used to get them a lot. And mine, by the way, they come, but they disappear. I just ignore them because that has been the way for however long I've noticed, years, going back years, that has been the pattern. They'll come in and then they go away. So I just try to kind of not go too heavy when they're coming out. I try not to go too heavy in those areas to kind of wait for them to dissipate. Well, my cousin would get a lot of them and it really bothered her. So she went to the dermatologist and she got them removed. And again, not that I'm trying to this is not about telling dermatologists horror stories, but she ended up with scarring all over her under eyes, which then put together, it looked like it created this huge shadow. So you see how I have like that shadow there, sort of like that indentation that makes your eyes hollow, right? So that shadow, it happened like all across. So she was trying to fix the problem and then ended up with a bigger problem, right? And I don't know if hers would have gone away like mine typically do, but I don't know if that's the case for everyone. So I'm not saying that obviously that she did anything wrong or that it was the doctor's fault or whatever, but everyone reacts differently. And I think with Spanish, our skin tone, we tend to, number one, we produce more melanin. So we're more prone to have hyperpigmentation. And number two, we tend to form keloids. That's kind of common for us, which means like keloids, if you don't know what that is, like with a scar, it gets like bumpy. When it's healing, after it heals, you end up with this bump. And so I have a feeling that may have something to do with it. So, what works for one person may not work for the next. So it's like you have to be really careful. All right, so I did the eyes, and then I go in. This is from Grande Lash, and this is a serum to help keep the brows healthy and help them grow. And My daughter loves this, and she used it for a long time, and she tells me that it does work and that it did make a difference. Her hair, like where she had like sparse, where she had like no hairs, she saw them grow in. The only thing is that you have to continue using it, and it's not the most affordable thing out there. So for maintenance, I mean, does it work? Yes. Is it like sustainable? Probably not if you have like a lot of gaps, right? I've mentioned to people that The Ordinary has one, and so I tell people like that want to get something for their brows and they don't want to commit to something, you know, this with this price point, I tell them try the one from The Ordinary, which is like $10 or something like that. And I've tried it. I went through a whole bottle, and I feel like at the end, it all comes down to consistency. It all comes down to consistency. Same thing with the hairline and me using the serum from Vegamore. People that see results is because they're using it every day and they're doing what they have to. They massage it, you know, you take the time. Same with this, because there was a time, I always have a hard time growing hairs like here on the end, like my little tail was chopped off. I don't know why. This one's fine, but this one's always. So the times that when I was using The Ordinary, yeah, I would every night I would just put some right here and here, and I did. It started to grow, and then I ran out and didn't buy it again. But I just happened to have gotten this one, I think, in, I don't know, in some box, and so I've been using it because I let no skincare go to waste. Not on my watch. All right, so what's left is the moisturizer and then sunscreen, because obviously we're doing a morning routine. So one moisturizer that I have been loving, and it's super affordable, is this one from the Inky List. And this one has ceramides. Says bioactive ceramides, repairing and plumping moisturizer. So I find it to be very hydrating. It feels really good on the skin. It has no fragrance, so it's good for people with sensitive skin. So yeah, there's everything good to say about it. So if you're looking to start a skincare routine, but you don't want to be spending a ton of money on, I'm going to start with the neck to give that time to. That is a good option from The Ordinary. I actually like, I'm sorry, no, from the Inky List. I like theirs better than the one from The Ordinary. The one from The Ordinary, which comes like in a tube, comes like in a tube like this. I tried it a while back, and I felt like it was, the formula somehow, I felt like it just sat on the surface of my skin. It didn't feel like it was going into the deeper into my skin and hydrating it. Somehow it just felt like it just sat there. I mean, that may be fine for some people. I like to feel my products going in. I like to feel that they're making a difference in the way my skin feels. And I don't know, that one just, in that sense, it didn't do it for me. But it's just like this one. Sorry, price-wise, the price points, they're very comparable. They're the same, both affordable brands. And it doesn't have a fragrance either. So for those of you who prefer no fragrance, that one's always an affordable option as well. So I am right now, if you throw anything on my face, I think it'll get stuck. That's how hydrated I am. And this is how I like to feel. I know my son, for example, this is a nightmare for him. He cannot stand to feel anything sticky on his face. And then, trust me, I try to get that boy to use moisturizers and acne products and things like that, and he hates the feeling. All right, so I'm talking too much. I need a little bit more lip mask. I like this one more than Laneige. I mean, I used Laneige for years. I don't know, there's something different about this one. In the winter months, that's the only one I rely on. And though it's not winter yet, but I love it so much. And the minute I ran out, I went and grabbed the second one, even though I still had one. That's what I do. I kind of, especially if I see sales, like I'll go in and buy those things, even if I don't need them right then and there, and stock them up, because I know that I'll eventually use them, because I go through products so quickly. So anyway, the last thing is sunscreen, and I have two in front of me. This one from Shiseido is amazing. It's, if you're looking for something that doesn't show, this one's called Invisible. They have several, but I think this might be the only clear one. So anyway, on days where I'm wearing like something dark, because I bring everything down my neck and I end up ruining my clothes a lot of the times, if I know that I need to not transfer, I'll use this one. Or this one, which is a moisturizer and sunscreen all in one. So if I had wanted to skip this step, I would have just done this one, because it's, like I said, a moisturizer as well. But since I already applied a moisturizer, I'm gonna go in with this one today. This one, let me just show you. This is my second bottle. I love it so much. This one is just clear. It's just like a regular moisturizer. And it has a really like high percentage of hyaluronic acid, so it's super hydrating. This is like a dream for dry skin. It's like a dream. And of course, I'm not gonna waste that little bit. I'm gonna put it on, because that hyaluronic acid helps plump. It just, I don't wanna run out of it, because that's my second bottle that I bought, and I know that I'm gonna wanna buy it again as soon as I finish it, so I'm trying not to use it all the time. So let's just go in with Shiseido today, and let me show you. This one is super, ooh, I'm finishing that one. It's super, yeah, it's clear. Very light, and it feels kind of like oily, but not oily in a good way. I don't know, oh, and it does have some fragrance, which I actually never noticed. It does have that sunscreen fragrance, but I happen to love that. And I know some people don't. I do bring it to my eyes. I just kind of pat it in, because you want sunscreen. I never thought that you could put sunscreen under your eyes, but you can, as long as it doesn't burn your eyes, obviously. You know, so play around. It doesn't have to be a sunscreen that's made specifically for the eyes. Just as long as it's something that doesn't bother you or burn your eyes. I think for me, I used to think, oh, I'll just, you know, wear sunglasses. But what if I don't want to wear sunglasses? I still want to have some protection under my eyes. So I've played around with so many products, and I know that this is one that I can just, you know, pat in. It's not going to cause me any irritation or any, you know, tearing or redness, which some other sunscreens do. You have to kind of figure out what works for you. But I say protect your under eyes, because like I said, the place where my age shows the most is when I smile. And obviously this here, these nasal labial folds are, but I've always had them. Even when I was a teenager, like I had that. It's just more pronounced now. All right, I didn't apply too much sunscreen. I know you're supposed to add more. It's kind of cloudy out, but it doesn't matter. I may be stepping out afterwards. So I'm going to apply a little more. I am so rough also. And then what's left in my hands. And usually I'll put it, also bring it to my tattoos so they are protected. But I have a different sunscreen for that. So, all right. I think that's the end of it. When you're done with sunscreen, that's the end of your morning routine. Thank you so much for watching. If you happen to have clicked on this after the live, or I'm not even sure if it actually worked, because it's like my second time doing this in I don't know how many years, but please don't forget to look for the link below so that you can write a short testimonial for me. It's really going to help make a difference. I'm really, really hoping that I get in. This is, it's like an influencer program where I would have a contract with Sephora for the entire year 2025, and I'll get to work with brands and you know, just really have a lot of more access to products and new launches and things like that. So it's really, really important for me, and I would really appreciate it if you just took 2 minutes of your day to write something sweet about me. It doesn't have to be that sweet. It can just be, you know, I watch her videos because of anything. I don't know. You decide. All right, I'm gonna leave you with that. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. And again, thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, don't leave before you do that, okay? And giving the video a thumbs up as well helps me out. It helps push it out on the algorithm so other people can see it as well. All right, I'll let you go now. Have a great day. Bye.